Good evening. I want to say welcome to everyone on Tuesday, March 16th. I want to read a statement first. The governor has issued a disaster declaration related to the public health concerns caused by the statewide COVID-19 pandemic. As chair of the Human Relations Commissions, I've determined that an in-person meeting is not practical or prudent because of the risk of exposure to the COVID-19 virus stemming from an indoor gathering, and that a remote meeting is in the best interests of the health, safety, and welfare of the commission, staff, and general public. With that said, I will call the meeting to order at 5:19 p.m. Jason, if you could do a roll call for us.
Commissioner Tamala,
I'm here.
Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Henson,
Here.
Commissioner Ryburn,
Here.
Commissioner Figueroa, Commissioner Cosberg, Commissioner Williams.
Present. Thank you. I am not aware of any public comment. No updates, Jason. Okay, great.
Nope.
At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the January 19th, 2021 meeting.
I move that we accept the meeting minutes of January 19th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, please. Oh, Jason needs to call the roll.
Yep. Commissioner Tamala,
Yeah, aye.
Commissioner Henson,
Aye.
Commissioner Ryburn,
Aye.
and Commissioner Williams.
Aye. At this time, Jason's going to give us an update on the complaint that is ongoing.
Yeah, not much has changed. It is still ongoing. Parties are still conducting discovery. We've got some deadlines set in the coming month and a half, and we are going to all be on a call again in May which should be following the conclusion of discovery, and we should have a better idea of what a hearing schedule might look like after that. So.
Okay. Thank you for keeping us updated on that progress. Unfinished business, the 2021 Social Equity Summit. I've not had the opportunity to meet with City Manager Reese, so I don't have any additional information on that at this time. So unless anybody has any other unfinished business, I will move forward to new business. Jason and I have been working with, I can't think of his last name, the staff person who works with the Bloomington Nikita Richards from the Bloomington Human Relations Commission on their behalf, trying to get a joint meeting scheduled. She asks for some additional information regarding what would be the purpose of the meeting and what ideas we had that we would like to share with them regarding the 2022 awards ceremony. So that's the status of that. We are still trying to move forward and get that meeting scheduled. I did want to take some time at this time and just make sure that as the normal Human Relations Commission, we're all on the same page regarding ideas for the ceremony. We've had conversations before, kind of the who, what, where, when, why. So I think we have agreed, and if at any point you want to clarify, further discuss, or correct what I have to say, please feel free to jump in. But one of the things that we wanted to do is, rather than being merely a participant, we want to go back to having an active role in the planning of the event. One of the things that we would like to do going forward is to try to make it a free community event. One of the things that we learned from having a virtual event this year and a scaled down event the previous, well, let's see. Yes, the previous year, I have to see which year we're in. Due to weather, was that having it taped and able to be viewed at a later date worked well. Jason provided me with some good data, and perhaps he can share some of that. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I'll keep going with that. But essentially, if you look at the data compared as far as numbers, making a few assumptions with viewing, there were more views or attendees for the 2021 event than in years past. And when Jason's ready, because I just put him on the spot for that, I'll let him jump in there. One of the things that we have not discussed as a commission, and I would like to get your input, is about the difference between having someone from a speakers bureau, like Illinois State University or Wesleyan or someone else like that does, given the community budgets between Bloomington and Normal, especially in a pandemic with decreased revenues. Your thoughts on potentially continuing to have a community-based speaker talk about Dr. King and what Dr. King's life has meant to them. I believe that Tony Jones from the Bloomington Human Relations Commission and Nikita Richards did a phenomenal job in planning this year. And so if I could, Jason, if you're ready, I'll ask you to go first, and that'll give the other commissioners some time to kind of think through sort of a highly paid speaker versus a community-based speaker in terms of draw for our event. Jason?
Sure, yeah, so I'm going back to discuss the ticket sales or attendance. I went back and looked, obviously I began in 2018, so some of these numbers predate me, but in 2015, from what I could tell, between Bloomington and Normal, about 594 tickets were sold. 2016 was about 470. 2017 was about 545, and 2018 was 627. I didn't have a count for 2019. I believe that's the year that we had a snowstorm on MLK Day and it got moved. So I don't know, what the ticket sales were for the original event and the rescheduled event. But nonetheless, 2015 to 2018, I'd say an average of, 550, give or take. And then when I counted these last week, I counted 513 YouTube views between the two streams, Bloomington and Normal, of this year's virtual event. And Ben, I think you raised the point when we did our debrief that, each of those views doesn't necessarily represent just one person. It could be households. So I thought, if we average it out to 1.5 people viewing per view, those 513 YouTube views turn into, let's say, 770 people that actually saw the event. Obviously there's some assumptions in that math there, but it does seem that we had a significant uptake in eyes on the event this year.
Thoughts, comments, insights, input?
I have a thought on the speaker. I would be interested personally if we brought back winners from 10 or 15 years ago, the student winners, for example, and for that we know what they did up to the point of getting the award, but what have they done since then? Because I bet their stories would be just fascinating, and you know, the trips they've been on since then in their lives, to help us understand, you know, the whole point of what we're doing and giving out the awards. Recognize them for obviously all the things they've done, but all the things they can and will do. So I wonder if instead of spending that time on a single speaker, whether it be from outside or from the community, but do 10 or you know, maybe 10 minutes a piece for 4 previous winners or something, and have their stories told then. And I just think that would be interesting.
I knew you would have great ideas.
Yeah, I definitely like this idea. I think maybe 3 years back, I've seen at least one youth winner from almost 10, 15 years ago coming back and speaking about it. I don't think she or he was the keynote speaker, but still, I think they made a difference. So I think it's a very good idea. I like it, Ben.
Do you have any thoughts or comments into virtual, in-person, or hybrid?
I like virtual. You know, every organization that I've been involved with has been very successful with virtual, and people like the fact that they can watch it live, so to speak, or they can watch it later on YouTube at their convenience. If they have something else going on that day, they don't feel stressed about missing the event. They still get to see the event. So I like virtual.
I'll agree with that. And I feel like seeing how well events have worked virtually, I think we're going to see a lot more events move in that direction. So I also like the virtual idea.
Jay?
We're talking about 2022, right?
Correct. Or
Um,
just in general?
I guess I mean, I definitely agree with the success rate of the virtual, but I think it goes hand in hand with the situation we're in. Let's say that if the vaccines, if everyone is able to get the vaccine, and then there are no new variants of this virus, and on top of that, then people are coming out and meeting, and then, you know, we have few more events like this, you know, not ours, but and been successful. Maybe 2022 we have a shot at it in person, because what I'm thinking is the virtual has been successful because of the situation we're in, and the situation at that time can be different and probably better. Virtual obviously works out well when you have budget constraints, right? You don't have to spend much, right? Yeah, maybe a hybrid version, but I don't know what it's going to be look like. But I think you guys made a good point about if someone is not able to join, they can probably watch it later on. That's a very good point. I think that could happen even with the in-person, if we were able to live stream the whole event and then save it on the city YouTube channels. And I think that's going to provide them a good opportunity to watch later on. I don't know if we have done that in the past, but I think in the future that is something we can definitely think of. So I think, yeah, to answer your question, I would personally prefer a in-person if the situation is different. I would probably plan for that, but keep plan B as a virtual one, because that is something that we'll follow if things don't get better. I would still think that there will be some people who are still wary of the situation and probably want to stay home. I don't think this is going to go away completely for a near time. So yeah, so that's where I stand at the moment, I guess. But I do agree that virtually has been very successful with several organizations, and that's definitely a good backup plan if things don't get improved.
Okay. Anything else about the planning for the 2022 event that you that we haven't necessarily covered, either individually or as a commission in the past? Or do you think I hit the high points of what we as a commission going forward, how we would like to see the planning of the event go? Because we have been offered the option to continue to partner in the way that we have these past 2 years, which has been more from a press and publicity standpoint than the actual planning. So that is an option that the Bloomington Human Relations Commission has provided to us. In the past, as a commission, I just want to make sure that I'm speaking on behalf of the commission and that this is the discussion that we've had, that our preference would be to be included and participative with the planning and not just publicizing what they decide they're going to do. And I see you nodding your heads in the affirmative, so I will.
Yeah, definitely. I think, we did our best last year too, but I think we may have a better opportunity this year with variety of reasons to be able to put our case forward and put our thoughts in front of them and say exactly what you're saying. So yeah, I do agree with that.
Okay. We had some conversations in the past also about the potential from a normal perspective of having a preference for it to be a free event so that, we're not selling tickets or whatever. In 2020, because of the rescheduling, there was an hors d'oeuvre event rather than a luncheon, which is why I've been calling it an awards ceremony and not an awards luncheon, because we need to continue to be flexible given the circumstances of any particular year. Do you have any additional thoughts or comments on that? I think we all agree that it's definitely not about the meal.
I think it also depends on what Bloomington thinks with the idea, Jennifer. It's definitely a good idea to open it up for public and make it a free event, and obviously you'll probably see more audience. But we'll have to see if we are going to do this with Bloomington. Then I think we'll have to see how they react to it, and maybe they can improve that idea, or maybe come up with a better idea.
And that's why I think we wanted it to be a participative planning,
right,
so that we can get more minds around the table, so that it is truly a joint event.
Yeah.
Not us making a decision or them making a decision, but us coming together to, based on our various networks, what makes the most sense for the Bloomington, Normal, and McLean County community for this particular ceremony.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I
thank you.
think,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think, if it's a virtual event, then free makes a lot of sense. But if we transition to some sort of an in-person, whether it be a luncheon or a reception or whatever it is, then tickets make sense of a nominal value to help guide how many people you need to plan for. Because if you don't have something like that, then everybody will say, yeah, I'm going to be there. And then you plan for 1,000 people and 200 show up. But if you make them at least pay $5 or something, then it's a commitment that chances are either they'll show up or they'll give the ticket to somebody else. But at least you can plan for it. So I think there's a need for some nominal value sort of ticket if it's going to be an in-person event. Otherwise, I don't know how you ever plan for it.
That's a great point as well. Okay, I think, Jason, we have enough that as we continue to move forward with Nikki, that we will be able to see what their schedule and their timetable look like, and I will continue to keep you guys posted. Thank you for that. Some of the other ideas that I let Nikita Richards know that we also could potentially discuss in a joint commission meeting would be other collaboration opportunities, such as the Social Equity Summit, which has a tentative timeline of October 2021. A commission lessons learned, especially given some of the social justice issues of the past year, and ways to continue to work together beyond just the award ceremony in January. Are there other things that you think we would benefit from having a joint conversation with the Bloomington Human Relations Commission?
Yeah, I guess, I'm sorry, is that a question to Jason?
Yes, that
Okay.
is a question. Please. No, go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess, I think we talked about this in the past, and how to keep the community aware of an existence of a commission like this, right? So I guess it's probably out from a lessons learned perspective, like you said. We can also ask, or maybe a brainstorm ideas on what they're doing and what we can do and what we can do together to make sure that the community is actually aware of who we are and what we do, and make sure they do actually make use of these commissions, right? I mean, there's a lot of effort that is being put in together, right, to bring this up. Yeah, this is a similar thing I have with MAP too. I mean, the Minority and Police Partnership. I mean, it's just the awareness that if we're able to go into the community more, and I'm just hoping that there's, for lack of better words, there's a better return on investment of all our times and effort. I think the best way to do that is to make sure more people are aware of what we do, and I guess we'll probably want to talk about that with Bloomington as well, and see what they're doing and what they want to do together, and things like that. So yeah.
Okay. Ben or Janae, you have any other thoughts that I may have not brought up?
Nothing to add from me.
Okay. I will share And we won't discuss it since it's not an actual agenda item that was published. But for our April meeting, if you could think about the potential for adding a youth member to the Normal Human Relations Commission. There have been some conversations, and I believe I can never remember the exact name of the organization, the Police and Community Review Board, I believe, for Bloomington has added a non-voting youth member. And I was approached by a community member about that potential topic. However, since I forgot to put it on the agenda, that's not something that we'll discuss this evening, but we'll make sure that we'll have some conversation about that during our April meeting. Is that correct, Jason?
You know, if you wanted to discuss it, you could discuss it now. We just couldn't take any final action on it,
Okay.
Which any final action on that we'd be pretty limited anyway, since we'd have to go through council or, you know, change an ordinance to make that happen. But feel free to discuss away.
Okay. What do you guys think about
Are you,
that?
yes, a great idea. Are you thinking youth beyond the ISU representation?
Yes, this would be,
Are you thinking more high school?
yes.
Okay.
Something that one of our youth award winners for this year actually is the one Ms. Jordan brought to my attention
Okay.
as a suggestion.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So maybe thinking something like a rotational thing, as a junior or senior from high school, or maybe a junior or sophomore. I think senior, they're pretty much like, they want to get out from the town or get out of the house. They don't probably care much about what's happening in the community. Just kidding. But maybe in high school, right? I mean, I think that's probably a good age in terms of the maturity. Even though you can see some spark in junior high kids. So are you thinking maybe one student from each of the high schools that we have, like the Normal Community and Normal Community West? I think both are in Normal, right? Yeah, both are Normal. Or maybe one from even these high schools, and I think you have a University High School as well. Maybe one from one out of three, or maybe one from each. I don't know. But basically, you the objective here is that to keep them involved, and also they take this back and educate their peers or the groups that they are associated with about, what this whole commission is all about, or what we're doing for the Normal town. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I mean, I really like that idea. Obviously, there are groups that are actually already working with youth, if not the governmental bodies, but it could be for example, not in our school. And of course, there are a lot of committees that kids participate in high school as such. They're not necessarily of science or math, but it could be social, or it could be business related and whatnot. So yeah, I think I like that idea. We just need to perhaps let's hear from others, and then we can talk about what is the criteria, how many kids and stuff like that.
Terry has just joined us. Thank you. The conversation we're currently having is about the potential for adding a youth or youth members to the council. I know the NAACP, Ben, I'm going to put you on the spot at this point, has recently started a youth council, and we also have Not in Our Schools. So I am, when the idea was brought to me, I thought that's great, but then are we going to have the same 5 students on all of the commissions or committees in the community, kind of like we do with some of the other things? Ben, do you have any insight with the NAAC Youth Council?
Yeah, we just started that council, and that includes a wide variance of grades, but it does include high school students, and some of them are from normal, so some of them would qualify. NAACP also has an ACTSO program for high school students, and so there might be somebody from there also that might qualify. So I'm assuming you would do some sort of a application process or something so that we could actually review names and pick. I was curious about, I don't know if legality is the right word, but I was curious about, for example, when we hear complaints, if somebody is not of age, can they legally vote to resolve a complaint? And I maybe that didn't make sense, but that was on my mind.
Glad we have a liar in the meeting.
And I'll, I'll give my often used answer, which is I'll look into it and have to get back to you. Yeah, I suppose, I know that Bloomington, their council has had discussions about this with youth members for various boards or commissions. And one of the forks in the road they always get to is, do we give this youth person a voting? Is it a voting seat, or is it just like an advisory? And so depending on what this additional or some additional seats here could look like, I suppose that would change, whether they have involvement in the complaint side of things, or if it's just more of a role with our meetings and ideas and whatnot.
Terry,
Do we
you
have
have
to
any?
change our bylaws or our ordinance to include a student? I know I'm late. Y'all probably already talked about that, but we have to have that approved by the city council.
Yeah, we didn't discuss it directly, but it would take a change in the ordinance to add a full-fledged member, even if it was just an advisory, non-voting member.
Okay.
What do you
That's
think about the idea, Terry?
well. I think it's a good idea, only because I think it would give the young person a look into the future, where they can go after they get out of high school, after they get out of college, or when they're in college, they can be a part of a commission wherever they're at, if they have that ability to get on the council. I mean, a commission. So yeah, I think it's a good idea as a learning tool.
Well, and I think it's not just about a learning opportunity for the student. It could definitely be one of the issues that we continue to grapple with is, how do we let people know? Well, young people are the kings and queens of social media and getting the word out. And so I think it would be a great way for us to learn from them, as well as for them to be able to help us get the word out that we exist, and have the opportunity to partner on more things and have more people in the community aware that we are here and what we do.
Yeah, and that aspect, I agree. That's another good resource as well. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I guess you
Okay.
will also be surprised that how mature they can be, and some of them are very mature in the thought process, and we could probably even get better ideas for some of the problems or the issues that we have. So they bring a different perspective to the table.
Definitely. Okay.
And they're the future, right? Obviously, I mean, those are the ones we're working for. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like something that as a commission we would like to pursue. So I will add that to my agenda of items to discuss with City Manager Reed when we're able to get something on the calendar. I know our schedules have both been a little busy lately, so I'll reach out and try to get on her calendar before our April meeting to bring some thoughts back. Any other new business? Okay. Concerns and announcements, upcoming activities and events.
We have a virtual event planned for one of the Indian groups, the New Year celebration. It's still kind of dicey at the moment whether it'll go forward or not, because we're trying for a virtual event, and it's still, we're not sure about the participation yet. So, but if it was a in-person one, I would have liked our committee to participate in that, but maybe next year. From a personal announcement perspective, I'll be out of the country in July, so I'll probably miss that meeting if there is going to be one.
Now there's some pre-planning.
Oh, you have to book the tickets, otherwise, the flight tickets. We were supposed to go last year. We booked the tickets, and then the whole COVID thing happened, and luckily we got our money back.
Okay, well, that's good. Yes, I think we're all looking forward to a different year than this year than we had last year. It'll definitely be different. Let's hope it's better. So, hearing Ben,
Yes.
did you? Okay.
This Thursday, March 18th, NAACP has their monthly meeting, and they are celebrating phenomenal women because it is Women History Month this month. And so if anybody would like to join that, it's a virtual meeting. That information is on their website. So you'll be able to look that up, but they're having a couple of guest speakers. So it would be a good event to attend if you're available. That's at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for the work you do with the NAACP. I know they've been having some phenomenal events. I haven't had the opportunity to attend as many as I would like, but I definitely get the emails. So thank you for your work with that organization as well.
Is joining us from his home.
I do. Sorry.
New
Did
York to the show.
I interrupt someone?
Terry.
Okay.
But I gotta tell you, you said you made.
Okay,
No,
Terry.
I didn't say
Oh,
anything.
okay. Can you
Okay,
Okay. All
sorry.
right. Well,
go
so
on mute for a second? Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay.
so if yeah, okay. So I am. I have an open invitation for all of you if you do want to learn more about the minority and the police partnership. So it's basically a group with all the chiefs of the police from McLean County. So it also includes the Illinois State Police districts within the McLean County. So they meet with the local minority group leaders once in 2 months. Basically talk about the issues, and there will be some education segments, and so basically some sort of an open forum, if you will, to share the concerns and also about what's happening in the police side of the world, and also from the community side of the world. So if you want to learn any of what that group does, so they meet on the first Wednesday of every even month, right? So the next one will be in the first Wednesday of April. So if any of you like to attend, So I think I can always invite guests. Anyone can invite guests, those participants. So just let me know, and it's usually goes for an hour, but you don't have to stay for the whole hour if you can't commit. Usually it starts at 4 p.m. and goes for 5:15. So let me know if any of you are interested to join one of the calls and see and what they do and want to learn more about it.
Okay, kind of off the subject, but along that line, do you still have, as part of that group, the information cards to give drivers that tell you what to do if you're stopped by the police?
Yes, we do. So
How would I
obviously
get
we
those?
haven't. Yeah. So do you know Aaron Woodruff,
Yes.
ISU PD chief? Yeah, just give him a buzz. He's the one actually I think have printed them
Okay.
last time, so he may still have. I think he's the right person in the sense that I think because obviously students, right? I mean, so I think they make them available for those kids. Yeah, so just give him a buzz. You may have some.
I'll
If
do
you're not
that.
able to
Thank you.
reach out to him, let me know. Thanks.
Thank you.
Anything else? Hearing nothing else, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I will make a motion for adjournment.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Been properly moved and seconded. Hearing no discussion. Jason, can you call the roll for us, please?
Commissioner Tamala,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Henson,
Aye.
Commissioner Ryburn,
Aye.
and Commissioner Williams.
Aye. All right. This meeting is adjourned at 6:00 p.m. Thank you all for your time.
Sorry again, I was late.
We appreciate you getting here.
All right.
Better late than never.
That's true.
Everyone, enjoy the rest of your evening and your week. Stay safe. Get your vaccine when it's your turn if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you next month.
All right.
All right.
Good
Same
night,
here.
all.
Everybody.
Good night. Thanks again.
Thanks all.